All right, gorgeous ones, it's time for the next palette in this Indie Eye Week. We'll be talking about the Pharaoh palette by Menagerie Cosmetics. And if you would like to see this palette and the looks and everything, don't go anywhere. Whew, I don't know. I'm not doing well with these intros. Y'all just tell me. Let's just go ahead and watch. So let's talk about the Pharaoh palette by Menagerie Cosmetics right here. Now, first off, the packaging. The packaging is gorgeous. Look at that beautiful picture on there. And then also these letters are raised on here, which is, you know, just that little attention to detail that you want. So let me show you the palette itself. Here it is right here. You can see all the colors right there. Don't mind my bad nails. I've just cut them off and I've got to take care of them. But anyway, this is the palette. Now, of course, looking at this color story, you do not see a black in here or a dark brown. How did they do it? So let's just talk about this palette. So this palette is 10 mattes with 2 shimmers. You see the shimmer right here, Pack Leader and Heuchera. So those are the 2 shimmers. This is 2 grams a piece. All the shadows are 2 grams a piece. So you get a nice little amount of, you know, product in here. The cost of this is $35.99. And then, of course, with shipping, it's a little bit over $40. Unless, of course, you spend $50 or more and you get free shipping. Now, right now, Menagerie Cosmetics, which is rebranding itself under this name, it used to be Makeup Monsters. They do not have a full line of products yet. So right now, they pretty much have the 2 palettes. They have the Pharaoh palette and they have the Dragon Child palette, which was part of the Makeup Monster brand. So right now, that's all they have. I do know they're going to be bringing back the lipsticks with the new packaging and hopefully the highlighters, because I really did want to try their highlighters. So hopefully all those things will be coming sooner than later. Now let's talk about this palette in particular. So like I said, this has 10 mattes. This has 2 shimmers. Now what I like about when she does these palettes is that she really thinks through the color story and how it relates to what she's calling the palette. So, you know, like for instance, Nabla just came out with this Poison Garden palette and everybody was, you know, expecting something beautifully smoky blues, and it came out and it was nothing like that. Well, when you get one of her palettes, which by the way, I forget her name, but it is female owned and she is out of Newman Lake, Washington, you will see that they make sense based on that. So with that, the colors in here and the names, for instance, this is Alpha, which makes sense because an alpha wolf would be more of a grayish color. You know, their fur tends to be a little old. They're a little bit older and they tend to have gray. So that makes sense. Canis lupus right here is that tan color. And then she has also Fenris, which is this green. And then she has Night Eyes, which is this yellow, which, you know, at night when you see that piercing yellow of a wolf's eyes, that is some scary stuff. She also has put in colors for plants that are in the forest that would brighten this up. Like for instance, the allium right here, which is that beautiful purple. And then she has the wisteria right here and the ivy, this dark green. Now, let me say, I absolutely love this colors. The one thing that I will say that I would have preferred is right here, and everybody kind of complained about this when it was first revealed, was the fact that Wolfing and Canis lupus are so close in color. She could have done one of those. We did not need both of them, you know, because one is like a lighter tan and one is like a mid-tone brown. We didn't need those. We didn't need both of those. One would have been enough, and then put in another color that is indicative of this. I would have loved to see, since we have 2 greens in here, and then we have this beautiful array of like pinky colors, pink tones right here. I would have loved to see another shimmer. And I know y'all like, what? Lou said another shimmer. Yes, I said another shimmer. I would have loved to see a gray shimmer. Oh, you never see gray shimmers. You see silver, you see, but a nice gray shimmer, like to go with that alpha, like a light gray. like a grayish duochrome. Ooh, if somebody could do a gray duochrome, I would be in love with that thing. But I want it to be pressed because I don't like loose ones. Just saying. All right. So that's the one thing I would have done, is add another shimmer in here. Even though I'm a matte person, so I love mattes, but I could definitely see taking one of those out and putting in another shimmer. Like I said, that gray would have been beautiful, beautiful. And, or maybe, you know, something, you know, maybe this would have been hot like a brown shimmer. I'm just saying. All right, so that's it. Now, this is my second palette by them, of course, under this new name. And the quality is exactly the same as in the first one. And I kind of like that because, you know, it's like, it seems like this whole thing with these companies nowadays, like people say, oh, we really like the formulation. It really works well. And then they'll decide to change it, which makes absolutely no sense to me. If you have a good thing, why do they keep reformulating things? Just make better colors. Do different palettes, but don't change your formulation, because then it, like, what did you do, like Natasha Denona, for instance? So I'm saying that to say that this is the same exact quality, the same type of press as the Dragon Child. There is a little kick up, like for instance, Mariposa right here, this beautiful orangey color, that one had a little bit more kick up than the rest, but in all, they're soft enough to be blendable, but not so soft that they're, you know, like that pigment kind of vibe where it's just getting, you know, dusty all over. The color and the is very rich, and I want to say so is the feel of these. Like when you touch them, they have a softness to them, and then when you swatch them, and y'all know I'm not a huge swatcher, but I will swatch the yellow for you. The yellow is so gorgeous, you know, and it gives you this intensity of color. Like when you see this eye look, you'll see that I packed that yellow on. So before I put on the shimmer on top of it, the yellow was intense, y'all, you know. So the colors have the intensity that you need, but they do blend well enough so that you can dial them back a little bit, or you can make them work with each other to make a beautiful eye look. Of course, now at this point, the only colors I really haven't used, surprise, surprise, is the, I just put my finger in there. I haven't used the Alpha, I haven't used the gray yet, and I haven't used these right here. I've used everything else in here because I've got allium underneath my eyes. So I've used everything up in here, even I think the green right there. I've used everything on the lower 8 right here, which makes sense, and this one here, because those are the more vibrant colors. And for the looks that I wanted to try, those were the colors that worked for me. All in all, I want to say that this is a good palette. I think it's worth the money. You know, it's like 12 shadows, $35.99. That's kind of like, you know, mid-range. It's not too high. It's not budget friendly, necessarily budget friendly, but it is doable. And if you like these colors, now let me say, this is not for everybody. Even though with the addition of these 3 colors up here, that it makes it easier to play with these colors without being afraid of them. Like for instance, when you look at it, you see these bright colors in here, and it's like, what am I going to do with them? But actually, if you think about it, there are enough neutral colors that allows you to create transition colors, to, you know, blend in things and make a really nice look that will not be intimidating. Like this, for instance, even though I wanted this to be a little more intense, it actually looks really pretty and is a very soft look. So you can play with these and get them to the point where they're more soft look. And if you pack them on and then blend them, then you will get the more intense looks that you're looking for. So if you're just going to shade it in like this one right here, like what I did, you will wind up with a very soft and muted look that is good for most people, but it will give you the ability to wear some color. And if you want to go more intense, just pack on that color and then blend it, you know, blend it from there, and you will have the intensity that you want. So it's a good mix for both. So for anyone who is looking to play with, from somebody who's just getting into color to someone who loves bright, bold colors, you can make a beautiful eye look out of this. I hope I have made sense, because it's very late and I don't know. I just don't know I don't think I'm coming off right. But anyway, all in all, I do love this palette, but I'm a fan of Menagerie Cosmetics, Makeup Monsters, whatever you want to call them. I am a fan. I do like their quality. I do like their packaging. I do like what they stand for. 10% of each sale is earmarked to be sent to a shelter for animals. So they also give back with every purchase, just so you know that. All right, so that's it for my review. I don't know how this review is going to sound, because it doesn't sound right to me, but we're going to let it fly, y'all. All right. So once again, love Menagerie Cosmetics. This palette is just as good as Dragon Child. The quality is consistent. And I would say go ahead. If you like the colors, go ahead and get this palette. Get this palette. I cannot speak right now. So let's just go ahead and look at the looks. And, you know, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I know I'm a little all over the place. And let's go ahead and watch the two looks. All right, so first color is Harmonia. It's that pale pink in here. Just trying to, like, you know, lay a first foundation of color. All right, next up is Wisteria. I'm going to start putting that in. I'm going to pack it on the edges, and I'm kind of doing like almost a halo eye. I don't know if it's really a halo, but it's kind of, I like these colors together. Now, the Wisteria is not as intense as it looks in the pan, but it is buildable, so it comes off kind of soft, more of a soft coral pink as opposed to being really super bright. But, you know, if you keep playing with it, you can make it more intense. I just didn't want it super intense at this point. So right now I'm just building that color. So I'm gonna just add a little Harmonia on the top to blend it all together. All right, so next up I'm using Mariposa, which is the brighter orange in the palette. And I'm using that to like really deepen up the inner part of this halo. Now the colors are beautiful, but they are, and I'm tapping the brush a lot because I didn't want it to be too bright and too intense. So even though, you know, I don't want you to think that you cannot get a nice buildup of color, it's just that I wasn't trying to go for that right now. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm just going to do a little blending just to make sure all my lines are together. So now this is after I have, you know, put my concealer on to put my space in. And now I'm using Night Eyes in the right there. You see how intense that is? That's just a matte and I'm just patting it on. So that's what I mean. Like if you really just pack on the colors, they are intense. I just wasn't going for super intense. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use Pack Leader, and I'm just going to like pat that on top of that Night Eyes because I wanted to give it a little shimmer, but I like layering colors, especially like a matte with a shimmer on top, to create a different color than what is actually in the palette. So I'm just gonna use a little more, you know, just to like blend all those colors together. So I'm using a little Wisteria around it to try to blend those colors together, then a little Mariposa. And now let's see how the look came out. All right, so I really like the look. It's a very soft very feminine look it's like a pinky, almost purpley look. And I use allium underneath the eyes to give it a little purple pop underneath. And so it's a little bit different than what you expect. It's bright and colorful, but not so bright that it's not wearable by a lot of people. So if you like it, let me know. Let's go on to the next look. All right, so here comes this next look. And the first color I'm using is, I used Wolfing. I think I used Wolfing as my transition on this one. No, I'm sorry, I used Canis Lupus as the transition on this one. So I did use one of those. I forgot. Fancy that. All right, so next up I'm going to use Fenris, and I'm putting that in the crease. So I really want to make sure that I blended that into the crease. You could see I spent a lot of time on that. And now I'm just making sure with the Canis Lupus on the top, making sure that I got a nice blend on the top so it won't be like super, I don't want lines. I wanted it to blend together. And if you can start seeing the blend on the top where it's very, I wanted to have a really nice transition. So next up is Ivy, and I'm just packing that on my lid. I didn't bother with like cleaning it up or anything because I wanted all the colors to blend and melt together. So that's why I did that with it. So this is just a green smoky eye. I don't know what made me decide to do it, but those greens were calling my name, so I decided to just go with a straight green smoky eye. So I need to do a little cleanup and a little blending. And now I'm gonna go ahead and show you the final look. All right, so now here is the final look. And I don't know if you can tell, but I used a green eyeliner to do my wings, so it's very monochromatic. And then I also did the heuchera, which is that green shimmer in the inner corner, just to give it a little pop. So let me know if you like it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Leave a comment or two. And as always, it's your Lulu. Be bold, be brave, be fearless, be free. See you later. Bye-bye.